Tragedy in the skies. The final flight of President Ebrahim Raisi. On a fateful day in early May 2024, the world watched in shock as news broke of a helicopter crash in the rugged mountains of Alborz, Iran. The helicopter, carrying Iranian President Ebrahim Raisi and several key aides, had vanished from radar screens, its wreckage later discovered amidst the unforgiving terrain. This tragic incident marked an abrupt end to the life of a powerful leader who had shaped Iran's destiny for years. Raisi's sudden demise sent shockwaves through the nation and beyond, leaving behind a complex political legacy and a deeply uncertain future for the Islamic Republic. The news of the crash sent a chill down the spines of Iranians, as the reality of their leader's demise sunk in. Raisi, a hardliner known for his uncompromising stance on domestic and international issues, had been a polarizing figure. Yet, his sudden death created a sense of collective grief and anxiety as the nation grappled with the magnitude of the loss. The crash site, a desolate and inaccessible area, soon became a pilgrimage site for mourners who braved treacherous paths to pay their respects. The nation entered a period of official mourning, with flags flying at half-mast and solemn pronouncements echoing from state media. The circumstances surrounding the crash remained shrouded in mystery. While Iranian authorities were quick to rule out any foul play, attributing the incident to mechanical failure, the lack of transparency fueled speculation and conspiracy theories. Some whispers hinted at sabotage, while others pointed to the unpredictable weather conditions in the region. Regardless of the cause, the tragedy cast a long shadow over Iran, leaving behind a void in the country's political landscape and a profound sense of uncertainty about the future. A legacy forged in power. Ebrahim Raisi's journey to the pinnacle of Iranian power was long and steeped in controversy. A man of deep religious convictions and unwavering loyalty to the principles of the Islamic Revolution, Raisi rose through the ranks of the Iranian judiciary, earning a reputation as a strict enforcer of Islamic law. His tenure as a prosecutor in the 1980s, during which he played a role in the mass executions of political prisoners, drew international condemnation and cemented his image as a hardliner. In 2017, Raisi made his first bid for the presidency, challenging the incumbent Hassan Rouhani. Though he lost the election, his campaign energized the conservative base and established him as a leading voice within the hardline camp. He eventually ascended to the presidency in 2021, following an election marked by low voter turnout and accusations of widespread voter suppression. As president, Raisi remained true to his conservative ideology, cracking down on dissent, tightening social restrictions, and pursuing a confrontational foreign policy approach. Raisi's presidency was marked by a return to economic isolationism and a hardening of Iran's stance on its nuclear program. He withdrew from negotiations aimed at reviving the 2015 nuclear deal and accelerated Iran's uranium enrichment activities, raising concerns among Western powers. His defiance towards the West served to rally his domestic supporters, while further alienating Iran from the international community. On the domestic front, Raisi prioritized economic self-sufficiency, implementing policies aimed at strengthening local industries and reducing reliance on foreign imports. His conservative policies resonated with a segment of the population, particularly those who felt left behind by the promises of economic liberalization and political reform. However, his hardline stance also alienated many Iranians, particularly the younger generation who yearned for greater social freedoms and engagement with the outside world. Raisi's presidency, though brief, left an undeniable mark on Iran's political landscape, reinforcing the dominance of hardline ideology and reasserting the country's defiance on the global stage. Power vacuum Iran after Raisi. The sudden death of President Raisi has thrown Iran into a state of political uncertainty, creating a power vacuum at the heart of the Islamic Republic. The nation now faces a complex and unpredictable transition as it grapples with the question of succession. Raisi was seen as a potential successor to Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. His death leaves a gap in the political succession plan, causing uncertainty in Iran's leadership future. The Iranian constitution outlines a process for selecting a successor in the event of the president's death. The Speaker of Parliament assumes the role of acting president while the Assembly of Experts, a clerical body responsible for overseeing the supreme leader, convenes to choose a new president within a specified time frame. However, the process is complicated by the intricate power dynamics within Iran's political system, where competing factions vie for influence and control. The conservative establishment, long dominant in Iranian politics, is likely to push for a candidate who adheres to their hardline ideology. However, the reformist faction, though weakened in recent years, may see this as an opportunity to reassert their presence and push for a more moderate path. Raisi's presidency was already tied to a legitimacy crisis and societal unrest. His sudden death may exacerbate these issues, leading to further instability within the regime. Raisi's involvement in human rights violations, including the 1988 mass executions, had led to international sanctions. His death might influence Iran's diplomatic relations, depending on who succeeds him and their stance on these issues. The power vacuum created by Raisi's death could lead to internal power struggles, as different factions vie for control. This could further destabilize the government and impact policy decisions. With the nation in mourning and the political elite scrambling to consolidate power, the race to succeed President Raisi has intensified. The Assembly of Experts, tasked with selecting the new leader, faces a daunting task. This body, composed of 88 senior clerics, must navigate the complex web of political allegiances and ideological divides to choose a leader who can unite the nation and steer it through turbulent times. The stakes are high, with the future direction of Iran hanging in the balance. Among the potential contenders, several figures stand out. One prominent name is Mohammad Bagher Ghalibaf, the current Speaker of Parliament. A veteran politician and former Revolutionary Guard commander, Ghalibaf is a seasoned operator with a strong conservative background. His close ties to the military and his experience in navigating the complexities of Iranian politics make him a formidable candidate. Another contender is Ebrahim Raisi's own son, Mojtaba Raisi. Younger and less experienced than Ghalibaf, Mojtaba has inherited his father's hardline ideology and enjoys the support of a segment of the conservative base. His candidacy, however, is likely to be met with resistance from within the establishment, who may view him as too inexperienced and potentially divisive. The possibility of a hereditary succession, while not unprecedented in Iranian history, could further fuel tensions and accusations of nepotism. The selection process is shrouded in secrecy, with the Assembly of Experts operating behind closed doors. The deliberations are likely to be intense, with each faction lobbying for their preferred candidate. The outcome will have profound implications for Iran's future, shaping the country's domestic and foreign policy for years to come. The death of President Raisi has sent ripples of uncertainty throughout the Middle East as regional powers grapple with the implications for their own security and interests. Iran, under Raisi's leadership, had pursued a more assertive foreign policy, expanding its influence in the region through its network of allies and proxies. The sudden change in leadership has created a period of flux, with neighboring countries closely watching for signs of change in Iran's regional posture. Israel, which had viewed Raisi's presidency with deep suspicion and concern, is likely to be closely monitoring the situation in Tehran. The Israeli government had accused Raisi of being a staunch supporter of anti-Israeli militant groups and had expressed alarm over Iran's nuclear program. The change in leadership in Iran might present an opportunity for a reset in relations, though much will depend on the policies adopted by the new Iranian president. Saudi Arabia, Iran's regional rival, will also be watching the unfolding events in Tehran with keen interest. The two countries have been locked in a bitter rivalry for decades, vying for influence in the region and supporting opposing sides in various conflicts. The death of Raisi has introduced an element of uncertainty into this complex relationship, with Saudi Arabia likely assessing the potential for a shift in Iranian foreign policy under new leadership. The impact of Raisi's death extends beyond the immediate neighbors of Iran. The United States, which has long been wary of Iran's regional ambitions and its nuclear program, will be closely observing the transition of power. The Biden administration had pursued a cautious approach towards Iran, seeking a diplomatic solution to the nuclear issue while maintaining pressure through sanctions. The change in leadership in Tehran presents both challenges and opportunities for Washington as it navigates the complex geopolitical landscape of the Middle East. The unexpected death of President Ebrahim Raisi marks a defining moment for Iran. The nation stands at a crossroads, facing a future burdened with uncertainty and fraught with both peril and possibility. The legacy of Raisi, a leader who embodied the complexities and contradictions of the Islamic Republic, will continue to shape Iran's trajectory for years to come. His demise, however, has also created a unique opportunity for change, a chance to reassess the country's direction and chart a new course. The coming months will be crucial for Iran. The selection of a new president will determine the balance of power within the Islamic Republic and shape the country's domestic and foreign policy for the foreseeable future. The outcome of this transition will have profound implications not only for Iran, but for the entire region, impacting the delicate balance of power in the Middle East and influencing the dynamics of global geopolitics. The world will be watching closely as Iran navigates this pivotal period. The stakes are high, with the potential for both progress and peril. The decisions made in the coming months will determine whether Iran embraces a more moderate path, seeking reintegration into the global community, or continues down a path of isolation and confrontation. The future of Iran and the stability of the Middle East hangs in the balance.